Looking to get into wholesaling real estate. You probably saw a video on YouTube or some shorts or some TikToks about wholesaling and how easy it could be to make $10, $20, $30,000. I created a step-by-step guide on how to get your first deal, and it's realistic. I'm not selling you anything. If anyone tells you that this business is easy, they're trying to sell you something, because the business model is simple, but it's not easy. It took me about a year to get my first deal, and then some people it takes them a month, 2 months, 3 months. So it all depends on how much effort you actually put into it. So let's get started. Step one is find a cash buyer. The best way to find a cash buyer is to go to your local real estate investment association. They hold events almost every month, and it's free to join. Some people charge like 10, 20 bucks, but for most cities, it's free to join. And then you can get a lot of information. They always have speakers, and more importantly, there's a lot of cash buyers there. You could also get an account on biggerpockets.com and then find local cash buyers, because most investors are on BiggerPockets. And then the third thing is join all your local real estate Facebook groups. You should be able to find some local ones to you, and then you could join the national ones as well. And then there should be buyers on there that you can meet and network with. Start building a relationship with these cash buyers. And all you really need is 1 to 3. Once you have 1 to 3 cash buyers, you're good to go. On to the next step. Step 2, find a property. So you want to find properties that have some sort of distress. It's the only way this would work. Someone needs to sell the property. So what I would do is go on PropStream. If you create an account, they have a 30-day free trial, and they give you 10,000 free leads. I would go on there, check your county, and start pulling leads for pre-foreclosure, absentee owner, high equity. Just grab all of them and then put them on a spreadsheet. Step 3, skip trace those properties. So what does skip tracing mean? Basically, it's just you're finding the phone numbers associated to that property, or the phone numbers associated to the owner, and then all the information that comes with it. So now that you have the property, you have the phone number, you go into step 4. Step 4, make the phone calls. This is where the money is actually being made. You have to go through your entire list. So if you're able to pull 10,000 leads, you have to call that entire list. Call everyone. You're going to get cursed out. People are going to, talk to you bad. If you don't have thick skin, then this might not be for you, because these people are ruthless. I'll see if I can add some videos of my phone calls. But it's not easy. That's the point. You got to make all these phone calls. Typically, you're dealing with someone that's in a distressed situation. So keep that in mind when you're having these conversations. And then don't take it personal. If someone curses at you or someone goes off on you, who cares? Finish the call, on to the next one, and keep going. You got to take the L, keep going. Eventually, you're going to find someone that wants to sell. While you're on the call, another thing you have to figure out is how much repairs does the property need. Now, you're not a contractor. The seller's not a contractor, but you got to try to figure out how much repairs does this property need. A major thing to wholesaling is to know your repair costs, because that can make or break a deal. So once you actually have somebody on the other line and they're willing to speak to you and they want to sell, you have to ask them the real questions. You got to ask them, why do they want to sell? What's wrong with the property? What's the condition? You got to figure out, is there any issues with the major components? Is the roof leaking? You have to ask all the questions so you can get kind of a picture for what's going on with that property. Once you have a full understanding of the property, they're motivated, they want to sell, the property needs some work, you go to step number 5, which is set the appointment. Step 6, go on the walkthrough. This is where you can bring your cash buyer with you to do the walkthrough with you. And all you have to tell the cash buyer is, listen, I have this property. I don't have it under contract yet, but I'm working on it. Do you mind helping me out? And then I can sell it to you if I do get it under agreement. So most cash buyers will help you. If someone calls me and asks me to do a walkthrough with them, I'm going to go, because you never know. That could be a deal where we both can make money on it. So I don't mind going. Most cash buyers don't mind going. That's why I said find your cash buyer first. Because once you have a couple cash buyers, you're good. Step 7, analyze the deal. So before you go to the walkthrough, you already need to figure out your ARV. ARV stands for after repair value, which simply is how much is this property worth after it's fully fixed. How do you find ARV? Simple. You do a 0.5 mile radius of the subject property, same type of built around the same time, same bedrooms, same bath, and sold in the last 3 months. Those are the major things. Now, if you find a property that fits that criteria, that is a real comp. So now what I like to see is at least 2 or 3 properties that sold in that area for that amount, and then I know that is a comp. So based off the conversation you had, you should have a ballpark range of what the repairs would be on the property to get it to 2024 standards. Now that you have the repairs and you know the ARV, what you want to do is 70% of your ARV minus the repairs minus your fee. That's how you come up with your offer. So for example, if a property is worth $100,000 fully fixed up, but so it needs $30,000 worth of work, what I do is 100,000, 70% of it, 70,000 minus 30 grand, which now it has you at $40,000 minus a $10,000 fee, which now your offer is 30 grand. Once you analyze the deal, you know what the ARV is, you know what the repair is, you know what your offer is, you know where you have to be. Now, when you go to that walkthrough, now you're confident. Step 8, give your offer. Now, some people like giving their offer at the appointment, and some people want to do it the next day. My advice is to give your offer that same day while you're there at the appointment. And now you have to adjust, because now when you go to the property, now you can kind of gauge how much work the property really needs. So now you have to tweak your numbers, but you have a starting point. You're more prepared for the walkthrough because now you know your numbers. So now you're negotiating with the seller, you come to an agreement, you get the deal signed. Now, on to the good part. So step number 8, you give your offer, you negotiate with them, you base your offer on the formula that we used, and now you get them to sign the deal, that's the hard part. So now they sign the deal, and now you have a contract that you're purchasing this property for this certain amount of money. So on to the next step. Step number 9. You assign the deal to the cash buyer. An assignment is a one-page document stating that you're selling your rights to this contract that you signed with the seller over to a cash buyer. Then at closing, you get paid. Super simple. Step number 10. You close the deal and you collect the check. That was it. So I know it sounded super simple and I went through it pretty quickly. It is a simple business. The thing is, it's not easy. Finding someone that's in a specific situation that needs to sell is not the easiest. But people going through real situations where a cash offer will help them. So all you have to do is find those people, get in front of those people, get these deals locked up, and then you assign them over to your cash buyer. The way I like to explain wholesaling is I find a deal, I partner with someone, they buy me out of the deal. That's the whole business model. You're finding a deal, you're putting it under contract, you're selling your rights to that contract to the next guy, and then they're closing on it and they're fixing and flipping it. And then eventually, once you understand marketing, you understand sales, now with all those wholesale deals, you can start flipping the properties. So just a quick recap. How to wholesale real estate step by step in 2024. Step 1, find a cash buyer. Step 2, find a property. Step 3, skip trace the property. Step 4, make the phone call. Step 5, set the appointment. Step 6, do the walkthrough. Step 7, analyze the deal. Step 8, give the offer and get it signed. Step 9, assign to your cash buyer. Step 10, close the deal and go collect your check.